I am crazy old dad dude. This is crazy old dad dude advice. Um, the first thing I want to say is that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional. I am none of the above. I'm just, an old dad, 50 years old, married almost 29 years. Uh, I've done drugs, been in the army. Uh, you name it. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff. Um, I say crazy because um, I'm a little bipolar with anxiety problems, which is well managed under medication. So I know what it's like to be crazy. I know what it's like to have anxiety. I know what it's like to have a panic attack. I know what it's like to be depressed. Um, I've got a blown disc in my back. I know what it's like to be in pain, physical pain. And so my object here is to help people, and I want to help people. Being that this is my first episode, uh, I've got nobody to help. So I'm looking down because I am very old and low tech. Uh, my email account is torech379 at gmail.com. If you got a problem and you want help with it, or some advice, I'll give you advice. Um, because you have to make your own decisions in life. But if I can give you a little advice along the way that's anonymous and nobody knows, well, then I'd love to do that. So anyway, I might as well start out the gate with some decent advice for everybody that is useful no matter what. A long time ago, and I don't know where it comes from, whether it came out of my brain or somebody else's. Uh, what I learned was you can't know other people until you really know yourself. That is one of the most useful things I've ever learned. Um, Anytime in your life that you do something, anytime during the day that you do something, you know why you did that somewhere inside. Um, and if you can understand why you do things honestly, without lying to yourself, then you can start to understand why other people do things. Um, there are times in my life where I've done something, whether it was something bad, something strange, and I've looked inside and said, why did I do that? And then I've had to think, and eventually I dug out the reason. Whether I was being angry or jealous or um, selfish or who knows what thing. Maybe it was a positive thing, but but a lot of times when we say in life, why did I do that? It's a negative, but understanding why you do things will help you understand why other people do things. So if somebody does something shitty, maybe they're just having a bad day. You don't know what somebody else's day it's been, so many things. Um, the other thing that a friend of mine's dad said to me when he actually wrote it on my cast when I had a broken thumb. Some of the best advice I've ever gotten from an older gentleman was think before acting. Most of, not all, but most of the stupid things I've done in my life, I did thoughtlessly. Whether it was hurting someone's feelings or, hey, man, watch this, or just, the stupid things that we do in life are often the stupid things that we do because we didn't give any thought to it. Um, I have a poor filter when it comes to saying stuff. And when I don't check myself, I will say shit that I go, why the fuck did I say that? And then somewhere inside, I know. But it's because I didn't think before acting. And I let something strange, unusual, nasty, um, creepy, whatever come out. And so think before acting is some of the most useful advice I can give that was given to me from a friend of mine's dad. And I cherish it today. Um, what other advice can I give? there's a lot of stuff that you can just say off the cuff. I'm a person of faith. I believe in having faith. Whether you're, any form of Christian, Catholic, whatever, because Catholics are Christians. Um, if you're a Christian, if you're a Jewish person, if you're a Muslim, um, the one thing I got to say is that faith I have found to be very helpful to me. And faith doesn't have to clash with science. So many people that believe in science believe that faith and science, they don't work together, but they can. You just got to have faith. But um, faith, love, and hope are three things in your life that nobody can take away from you. You have to give them up. And I would have to say, don't ever give them up. You know, um, if you have faith in God, however you have it, it will give you the strength to go on when you don't think you can. Um, when you have hope in your heart, even when the hours are darkest, even if you have hope in something that may never come, that hope will carry you on. Um, if you love somebody, and you know, yes, there's some times where you got to say, look, I give them enough chances, or whatever, but love you have to give up. And so it's always best to think about it before you give up on love. Um, I say this because, if somebody's beating you up or something like that, okay, you can still love them, but it doesn't mean you can't walk away. Love is, to me, God's greatest gift to humanity. And even, and I don't want to be overly religious, but Jesus, because I don't want to attribute too much to one faith, although I do have my own specific faith, except to say that uh, Jesus said that the greatest, when they asked him the greatest testament, he said, love your brother as you love yourself. And that's fabulous advice. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Here's the deal. So many people say, I do that, and then this guy treats me like shit, and it just ain't right. Well, here's the deal. You treat people the way you wanted to be treated. And other people are going to treat you by their standards. They're not necessarily going to live by your standards. They're not going to act by your standards. So if you love everybody and then someone treats you shitty, does you wrong, fucks you over, you can break ties with that person, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to care about that person. I, at this point in my life, have decided that there is no room in my heart for hate anymore. When I was young, I was full of passion and anger, and really hatred of anyone is, it really serves no purpose except for to make you upset. Um, my hating anybody never helped me in life ever. And, unless I was directly interacting with that person, it didn't ever affect them either. Um, and when you hate someone, the only thing you can do is hurt them. Or empower them. Because if you hate someone that wants you to hate them, then you're giving them more power, and they're going to make you hate them more. And for what? So that you can feel bad? There's just no point in it. There are people in life, and I try to care about everybody, and there's some I have trouble doing that. Why? Because either they just have a personality that my personality doesn't get along with, or, well, I guess that I'll say it that way, because there's some people that I think are not nice, jackasses in one way or another, narcissistic, whatever. very selfish personalities that I don't want to hang out with. And I don't hate them. Um, Sometimes I dislike them, but I try not to hold on to that. But and sometimes they're just people that I don't get along with. Like, everybody's personality doesn't work together. And it's like I recognize that they're not a bad person, but sometimes they just keep doing something that gets under my skin, and I just recognize that I have to just stay away from them, not because they're a bad person, not because of anything other than um I find their specific personality irritating. Uh what other good advice can I give you? Um don't think that everything needs to happen right now. Uh, Here in the U.S., we live in a now society, especially if you live in like a big city like New York or Los Angeles, where everything is moving at a mile a minute. Um, Everything comes in its own time, and you can't rush it. You can't rush anything, no matter how much you want to. The more you try to push things, uh, usually the more you fuck them up. Um, P.S. If you haven't figured by now, I cuss, and I figure I've earned it. Um, the reality of the situation is patience is really useful because when you're down, um, you're broke, your credit is just shit, and you got creditors calling you, and you know, you just feel like hell. And you just feel like there's no way I'm ever going to get out of this pit that I'm in. And you can in time, but it's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be next week. It's not going to be next month. It could take a year. Could take 2 years. What is bankruptcy stays on your record for 7. When you're looking at a situation, you have to be honest with how much time it's really going to take to get better. And the reality is, everything can get better if you work at it. Everything. Um, and someone says, well, what about a bad relationship? Well, if you have a bad relationship and eventually in time you find the strength to walk away from it, then it got better because now you're not in that bad relationship. There's always going to be naysayers, Uh, people say the glass is half full, the glass is half empty. Sometimes I just say the ass is half full because times are bad, but it could be worse. And, you know, um, what can you do? I do say never give up. You know, life can be dark. That's a dog trying to get in, but I'm not going to answer that freaking door because this is more important. Um, the most important thing is life to just never give up on life. There's there's always what I always say is you can't appreciate the good times if you didn't have bad times. And some people say all I've had is bad times. But that can change too. As long as you're living, as long as you're moving, as long as you're trying, you can always have good times in your future that you can try to make, but you can't have those things if you give up. Uh, so I'm not saying be a go-getter. I'm not saying whoo go 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 rah rah rah. Um, that's not how everybody is. Uh, I am not that kind of person myself. I have moments of extreme energy followed by much longer moments of wanting to sit around and do nothing. Well, not nothing. I'm a video gamer. I love the video game. I don't care what anybody says. I'm 50 fucking years old. I can play games if I want to. Um, and all these people try to say video games are bad for you, like if you're a kid or something. And in some ways, yes, they can be, but mostly no. Um, there are a lot of video games out there that you can be the good side or the bad side. My advice always to people is never play the bad side. If you play the good side, then you're practicing at being good. If you play the bad side, then you're practicing at being bad. Even though you're not a bad person in real life, there's always that possibility. I mean, if you're feeding in on um, the negativity for some reason, then you've got a problem because that negativity can eventually leach itself into your real life. Um, so, if you're playing Star Wars, play a Jedi, don't play a Sith. If you don't play, well, my personal opinion is don't play Grand Theft Auto or things like this that don't all have a good side. Um, Love to play Call of Duty. Um, if you're just playing head to head, and against other people, because most people don't even play the story mode, um, you're not really killing anyone. It's a game, just like capture the flag or football or tag or however you want to look at it. Um, the important thing about playing a game is enjoy the game. Um, if the game gets you down, if it gets you frustrated, if it makes you angry, put it down. There are times where I've been playing Call of Duty and just having my ass handed to me. And I'm not a bad player, but I'm not the best either. What I can say um, is that there have been times where I just been beat up, lost game after game after game, and it started making me angry. So I had to put it down, and then I'll switch over to Skyrim or something like that, where I'm playing against nobody, and it's everything's in your own time, much more relaxing, and you can just or Plants vs Zombies. Um, it's kind of stupid and kind of fun, and not terribly frustrating. But I digress. What more can I tell the average individual that you really need to know? I don't know. Your life is your own. And I, can say that I have a lot of experiences within my life that might help you. If you do happen to email me, give me as much detail as possible because there's no way for I can give better advice the more details I have. There's a lot of people out there giving advice that say they get a 5 or 10 page thing and they're like and they don't want to deal with it. They want things quick and sweet because they're trying to entertain people, not help people, or they're trying to help people kind of, but they want it to be entertaining. I'm not that way. If you give me the entirety, even if you repeat yourself of what's going on, then I'm better able to help you. Where do you live? Where, when, how, your age, the situation, the other people who are involved, the time of day, the time of night. I don't know. Because a person that lives in middle America, out in the middle of the boondocks, which I don't know as much about because I've never lived in a small town, to be honest, they're going to have a much different social and even political. They're going to have a much different situation than someone who's living in an urban environment, or maybe someone that's even living in upper crust environment. There's no way for me to know. So I really want to help people. I really do. If I can help 1, 2, 3 people and nobody else wants to listen to me, then I'm happy. It doesn't matter that the number. It's the fact that I want to help people. Yeah, I'm no doctor. I am no professional in any way, shape, or form. the only thing I have is advice like anybody else would give you. Well, maybe not anybody. Well, it's like getting advice from a person that doesn't know you, will never know you, doesn't know where you are, who you are, whatever. Um, I'm never going to see you in person. I'm never going to talk to the people that you know. I'm never going to, um, I'm probably never, ever, ever going to enter your town unless you live, in a vacation area and I happen to go there. Hey, you live in Maui. Well, I may visit Maui. Um, but 99.9 possibility I would never see you. And if I did, I wouldn't know you because I don't want your pictures. I don't want, I want to help people, but I don't want to cross an unacceptable line. You know what I mean? So I'd like to keep things relatively anonymous so that, your privacy is kept, my privacy is kept, and nobody wants to blame me, sue me, or whatever, or think I'm some kind of weirdo or creep. Um, I'm occasionally a jackass, occasionally a weirdo, but I don't think I'm a creep. But that's then not up for me to decide. You can't decide really if you're an asshole. If someone says you're an asshole, to them you're an asshole. So you can't say, no, I'm not. Well, you kind of just did something fucked up. You know what I mean? Um, anyway, I always talk too much. But talking to people, listening to people, being someone that's really into having conversations, helps you learn about other people. And I think it helps me to give other people advice. Anyway, one way or another, I hope you're having a great day. And I will talk to you later.